Do I still think 34K is possible? 34 to 38. Yes, I do. I do still think it's possible. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, of course, but I definitely still think it's possible. The reason I think it's possible is because, if we're going to have a macro pullback, it's probably going to be quite bloody. It's probably going to be quite uncomfortable to live through, and those kind of things, they do typically, take place across very large price ranges. But that's something I'm expecting anyway. Regardless of how high this thing goes, I would love to see a pullback down into this price range. And we've got really good indicators that are kind of suggesting that indeed might happen. I want to show you guys a potential position that I'm looking to trade, most likely on Bybit, where, like I said, you've got up to 30K to trade with. A nice little retest bounce here for Bitcoin, definitely looking interesting down at $48,000. To me, this is a little bit too aggressive. I'm not completely convinced if I'm going to take it or not. But it's basically, if Bitcoin comes down from this 50K area just by, another kind of 1.5K, this could be a potential area to go long on Bitcoin and then maybe even see a nice kind of recovery up towards 51, 52K. So that's a very, very short-term trade. I think people who are, quite short-term oriented, people who think that this market has a lot of strength left in the short term, like remaining in it, a lot of gas remaining in the tank for the short term, they're probably going to be interested in opportunities like this. We've got really nice EMA support here. We've got Ichimoku support here going into the next 2 days. So, there is some nice confluence building up here. I think if you're a little bit more kind of longer term, just a little bit more longer term, then actually you're going to be more like me, what I've been saying lately, which is the $44,000 level. So, that could definitely be something which is worth taking a look at. We've already covered this briefly, but, the S&P 500 up by 22%. Its annual return is around 8%, and right now it's up 23% in like 16 weeks. So, you do the math on this. It's obviously not normal for the S&P 500 to produce this kind of a rally. So to me, it's another kind of red flag that, I know there's a lot of happiness right now, and I really do not give a fuck. This is exactly how, things should look before retracements happen. So, I'm not looking to be 100% correct here. I'm only looking to apply the same thinking that makes me profits like these this 1,000+% gain that I'm in right now. I don't even know how much profit I'm in right now, by the way, on this Bitcoin position. Let me just take a very, very quick measurement of this. I entered at about 21.5, which was right here, up to our current price. That's 130%, and I traded this on 10x. So I'm up 1,300%. I'm up 1,300% on that position. That is a 14 times return, not 13. That is a 14 times return. The kind of thinking that makes me profits like this is the kind of thinking that I am discussing with you all on this YouTube channel. So, I think that very, very much due for a drop. And the really nice thing, by the way, about the S&P 500 chart now, this is on the weekly, by the way, is that we've rallied up by a really nice margin. From this all-time high that we had previously to our current high, we've gone up by 5%. 5%. And we've taken our time. We haven't done it that quick. It's not slow by any means, but it's not super quick. We've taken a solid month to do that. And what that means is now, to me, the chance of this being a fake out is not very high. Still possible. It's still possible that we just kind of tumble down and, depression. But I think now, A, because we've spent, a month above this level, and B, because we've gone up by more than 5%, more than 3%, to me, that shows me that actually now we're more likely to stick to this and just bounce off here, or maybe bounce off here, if things start to get a little bit scary. But one of these support levels and then continue up. That's what I'm seeing for the S&P 500. And by the way, but that would still be quite a big drop for Bitcoin. And that's my point, is that like if this does end up happening for the S&P 500, that could end up positioning Bitcoin a lot lower. The thing is about this range, it's the same thing. What I'm talking to you guys about in terms of resistance up ahead, it's the same thing that applies to support. Okay, if we lose this red line here at 48K, and this red line wasn't even that important anyway, but if we lose this $48,000 level, if we basically fall below where we are right now, well, take a look at this. When we broke out, it was a very quick rally up here to grab another 3.5%. Over here, it was a very quick rally. It took 3 days to grab another 10%. On this occasion here, it took 4 days to grab another 13%. Well, it'll be the same thing on the way down. I think this is where people really start to get scared with the market, is they start seeing very quick drops happening very sharply, and they shit themselves and they absolutely lose all of their mental balance. But you need to view this market as levels, not as percentage drops. It's the same thing. I'm losing my mind repeating this. It's the same thing I was telling you guys when we were down at $15,000, $20,000. I was saying, look, I understand that these are big drops. I understand that these are uncomfortable to look at, but you have to visualize the market as levels, not as percentage drops, because 70K down to 20K is pretty scary. But when you understand that between 70K and 20K, right? This is a really, really important point, ladies and gents. If you're done with the live stream, at least stick around with me for this point here, because this is the best takeaway you can take from this video. If you're scared about this drop from 70K to 20K to 15K, you need to understand that there were only 2 key levels. Like on a macro scale, there were only 2 key levels on this chart. You could argue there was 1 or 2 more, but that's it. It's not minus fucking 2 million % and we're dropping down and we've fallen by 50K. It's not that. We're in crypto, okay? If you view things like that, you're too scared, your money is too emotional, you're not going to make money, okay? It's going to be very, very bad for you. But if you look at this from a perspective of price ranges, well, it's just, you lose an area of support, you fall down to the next one. And in this case, the first key area of support was at about 48,000. Naturally, that's where we painted a key top on this downtrend. It was the only real reaction rally we had, and it topped out at 48K, so a very natural price level to find some resistance, and $30,000. These were the only 2 key levels. So if you lose it, you're down to 20K. It's obvious, right? And that's why as soon as we lost 30K, we fell right down to 20. Look at this. This is $18,000, $19,000. We fall right from 30 down to 20 because that is the next logical support area. The market doesn't care that this is a 40, 50, 30, whatever % drop. The market doesn't care. The market just wants to find support. And wherever that support is where the market will go. So we take a look at this now with modern day BTC right now. You've got to understand that if a correction starts for Bitcoin, whether it starts now or up at 52, 58, 69, I don't care. Wherever it starts from, it's going to come down and find support. And support might be very far away. In this case, it's about 11, 12% away, right? But that could get a lot worse. If we lose this area of support, the next one's going to be another, 7% below. So from our current price, now we're looking at a 25% drop. If we lose this range, then we're looking at the 30K range, okay? And so from the bottom of this range to the top of this range, it's another 9% drop. In total, we're talking about a perfect 40% drop, which is about as much as Bitcoin ever experiences within an uptrend before it continues to rally up. I mean, the numbers work so perfectly, and you've got to stay emotionally detached. A lot of people are going to wake up one day when Bitcoin starts dumping, because obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but obviously, markets go up and down in mini and macro cycles. They're going to wake up and they're going to be absolutely terrified that Bitcoin's dropping. But you, ladies and gents, because you've made it over an hour into this live stream, are going to know that this is completely fine. This is completely okay. All we are doing is seeking the next level of support. And if that means we drop down by $200 or $20,000, it does not fucking matter. It does not fucking matter. We're just going to come down to the next area of support. Ladies and gents, hope you've enjoyed this live stream so far. Do me a favor and smash up those likes if you haven't done so already. All right. Thank you all very much. I'll see you on the next one.